Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Hours Non-Classic. That was number 533 and Doubleshot number 2427. Well, we're here discussing for Superman issues number 285 to 294 and 296 to 310, along with Action Comics 406 to 432. So in basically in 285, Superman is tasked to go hunting for Roy Raymond. He does find him. After saving his life, he signs an exclusive contract with basically Galaxy Communications and revive his TV show. You might think he does this go anywhere? Not really. I guess that the writer of the book, who is Elias Micken, probably liked the character very much, so he just brought him back. Then we have the kid with the $1 million smile. It's kind of, in a way, a story where Clark works with the Loa Barner first story. 280. Oh, by the way, it takes the guy to Roy Rogers. In 286, we have Return of the Parasite, where basically, like, Superman's losing his powers. Apparently, his powers got transferred to a Superman statue. Lex is involved in the story, but Lex has to work team up with He has to help Superman save his life because only I can take out Superman. And eventually, the statue takes out the Parasite, and he's sort of in a way depowered by the end of the issue. Although where he gets his power back, no problem. The backup story is basically a Superboy story. Yes, it's a Superboy story where he takes on this thing called the Thought Monster. It's basically like reliving a terrifying ordeal. And this is done by Martin Brazico. Kurt Swan does basically the artwork. Also, there's this guy named Inspector Henderson. Yeah, he is a fairly recurring character at this period of time. Well, I haven't got to his debut just yet, but in the case of Superman, 289 is the first time he appeared in the title. He appeared for a little bit in this title. He didn't appear a lot, mostly but he was a character who had also appeared in the pages of all things, Black Lightning. Yeah, 287. Where it's basically Crypto being a hero for a story. Why not? And then we have something interesting, though. Bogus Batman. We have Clark Kent meeting up with Batman to go to prison, except that this Batman is not Batman. Because Batman knows Clark Kent is Superman. This Batman doesn't know that. And this guy basically used Clark Kent to kill a criminal in prison. Which Clark Kent invents it, and finds out this Batman is none other than Luis Mendez. Yeah, Lou Mendez. Yeah. It's a very interesting issue, and they don't collect it in the Batman trade because it's weird. So, then we have a computer solving it, trying to figure out who Superman is, but it doesn't really work out very much at all. The guy who's villain of the issue, Kyle Tobalt, he dies by the end of the story. Just a one-shot character. In 289... Then with the Phantom Horseman. Yeah, and one of the antagonists is the Metropolitan Revolutionary Army, who turns to be freaking communist. Yes, so you could say Superman took a communist this issue. And then basically you have Clark Kent hypnotizing his powers for a whole story. Yes. Even though it's a Bridwell did that one. Yes. Now, for 290, The Kid Who Cried Superwolf. Mostly put, this is the final appearance of a character named Michael J. Crenham, who was a character who also appeared in Action Comics. I still haven't got this debut. I'll probably get this debut pretty soon. Yeah, this was his final appearance. And Mixie gets involved with a backup story involving people speaking different languages. Eventually, Superman convinces him by going away you drew a business card, and it's his name backwards. Yeah, that's how he solves a lot of the stories, really, this one. 291, basically, Henderson works with him to stop this crooked control of Superman's energy. It's a Carrie Bates issue. Yeah, it's like these issues swap between Carrie Bates in some Breadwell, E. Nelson, and Jim Shooter. It's like these swap between these various writers. Then we have The Luth Nobody Knows. It kind of basically details Lex Luthor's backstory of why he hates Superman. Like, apparently at one point he's disowned by his own family because he's a criminal. Which, I gotta hand it to that first story. That book was really good. It's on by Elias Migan. Interesting. Yeah, we also have Chief Parker, who is basically just a guy in flashback. He's someone who's basically chief of police for Smallville. It's a great story. I Don't Like Your Face, where a guy basically picks up Superman and doesn't realize, though, he actually is Clark Kent, the reporter. He had no idea. And then The Miracle of Thirsty Thursday. Yeah, this is a weird one where basically there was this chemical release in the water system that makes you thirst like crazy. You think about the cover about the issue, you think, oh, is Superman being a tyrant, not being able to drink water for no reason? Well, there is a reason. There's a liquid that makes you drink more. And it's basically a future issue that people evolve in the 35th century. It's a nice standalone issue. And then we have 294, where it's Superman versus a person known as Brainstorm. Yeah, he is an old Justice League villain who convinced Superman he's the last man on Earth for a whole story. And if you're curious, yes, this is his sole appearance ever he made in Superman. And skipping over 295, let's go straight to 296. Basically, the whole thing in this one, it's just basically a story involving Intergang. And this is actually a co-written story. Yes, by Cary Bates and Elias Migan. Like, okay, cool. And then we have where it continues the next story. Clark Kent's like never. And it continues this whole thing of like, yeah. And then we have Superman going on a date with Lois, despite the fact we have first appearance of a new villain named Solar Man, who only appears in this comic, and he appears in the following issue, and that's it. Yeah. More Intergang stuff. I like the Intergang stuff. I thought Intergang was quite fun. 299 continues the very same story, but involves basically more villains. Amalok, Brainiac, Krypton Man, Lex Luthor, Mixbook, Parasite, Prankster, Terra Man, and Toy Man. Yeah. You would think with an issue like this, oh, we have a lot of Superclass Superman villains, got a team with them. Oh, it's a big celebration issue. Nope, it's 299. 300, meanwhile, though, is a story set in the future, where we have basically Superman in the year 2001, and in the future, by the way, where he's still alive, and it's just a future story with him. I actually kind of enjoyed this one. Yeah, and they classified this one as like Earth 300 because it's reference to issue 300. 301. Oh, by the way, before I continue, yeah, by the way, 200, that was the last issue 200s. So, 301, we actually have Salman Grundy fighting Superman. Except this was still the period of time where this was, if I remember correctly, I believe this was still when the multiverse was active. This is a decade before the multiverse collapsed. And he just travels to Earth 1 for random reasons. And this was actually the start of Jerry Conway's not exactly a live issue he wrote for this book, but yeah, start of his very brief run he did for Superman. And of course, we also have Jose Luis Garcia Lopez starting his artwork run for this book. I think like 301 was the first issue he did. No, he did 394, but this is the first regular issue. He didn't do a lot of the Superman title. It's like he did other stuff with Superman. He did a lot of air titles, but yeah, Superman's definitely one of them. I met him. Cool guy. 302. Where it's basically a Lex Luthor story involving guest appearance by Ray Palmer. Yep. 301. Taking out a guy called Lightning / Thunder. And there's also a guy called Whirlicane who actually gets killed off this issue. He's another character I haven't got to his debut yet. Oh, don't worry, I'll get to it soon, don't worry. And by the way, Kurt Swan still does the artwork here. Book is still really good, and of course, basically, we have the apparent death of the parasite in this issue. Yeah, but he does. Is this the final appearance of him? No, he would return. I say apparent death because he does return. And then, of course, we actually have him take on Toyman. Yep. Though when he last appeared, he had this sort of jester suit he appeared in. Now he's in more of the typical Winslow shot outfit. Actually, it's more like the original comes back. Yeah, so the one who appeared in the Jester outfit, that's the second Toyman. And I'm actually going to get his debut really soon. Yeah, second Toyman. Yeah, he didn't do much at all. Not really. This was his final appearance. He gets killed off by Winslow shot because he comes back out of prison for a while. Oh yeah, and also, yeah, apparently he decided to brainwash Bizarro, and then continues all the way to the very next issue where you have Superman fighting Bizarro. You're like, yeah, that was a great cliffhanger. Dealing with Bizarro. It was awesome. 307. This one in particular has the first appearance of a man named Protector. Yeah, and he's only in this issue and the following issue. And supposedly the boss they can't know is true, but don't worry, basically comes back. Yeah, and then basically Three-Way continues that very story there. With the first appearance of Rodon. Who, I look at this guy, he looks like basically like, he's not a typical Superman villain. Oh no. After this one appearance by him, he does not appear again until... Well, he also appears in Superman Volume 2, number 182 and 183, and next number 338. We also have final appearance in this issue of Professor Joseph Pinkwell, who... Another character I haven't got to his debut yet, but I will get to him. But yeah, that was his final appearance of the guy. Though we're almost done with Superman. 309. This one in particular is the final appearance of a guy named Samuel Simon. Yeah, he was a character who was associated with Intergang. He was only here for 9-ish. He was only here for debut in 301. And mostly been not a fairly big character for Superman. He last appeared in 301. This was actually his last appearance, per se. Yeah. 310. Yeah, Metallo's back in this issue. Yep, Metallo's back. And it's the first appearance of Roger Corbin. Not John Corbin. Roger Corbin. Yeah, he debuted in 310. And, of course, well, we haven't got to his... Now, you were thinking, what happened to the original Metallo? Well... The John Corbin Metallo actually died in his debut appearance. Well, the Silver Age version is. Yes, they killed him off in this debut issue. And I guess some people, they see like, hey, we need Metallo. Boy, he's dead. Okay, well, we'll just bring in his brother. You're like, okay, he didn't appear a lot in Superman, but I guess that some people at DC at the time must have really missed him. We have an appearance here by his organization Skull, this terrorist organization, who also fought the Outsiders. Yes, and they were fairly recurring characters in the pages of Superman. They also fought the Outsiders. And that's it for Superman. Now on to action. Now, mind you, there'll be some stuff I'll be skipping up because this also is the period of time where I believe that there was some reprints for a little bit, and then eventually, I think by 413, they started having these backup features for various characters. They had Metamorpho, which him was basically a continuation of basically what was going on in Brave and the Bold. He has a brief feature in the book, and then he gets replaced by Human Target, who has a not exactly an ongoing feature. We also feature for Green Arrow, the Atom. Human Targets get wrapped up by 432. Now, I've already discussed basically his feature, which those took up issues 419, 420, 422, 423, 425, 426, and 432. That was his feature. So in the case of Superman stuff, it just Superman deal with Lex Luthor in the opening story, and the backup story is just him deal with some mineral life form. In 208, of course, basically it's more of a space thing, and of course deal with Darkseid behind the scenes. The appearance by Morgan Edge. Yes, and then we have the Shocking Secret Super X. It's appearance by Lana Lang. Yeah, also Lana Lang in these issues finds out that Clark Kent is Superman. Yes. And then we have where, Clark Kent's being a coward in front of Superman. Also develops this sort of split personality for Superman. It lasts for a couple issues. It's really weird. Yeah, and the backup story is just a story about Superman with a blocked fight. 410, basically, it's just a non-canon story. And the backup is basically just Healing Hands. It's not much of an issue. 411, yeah, there were these oil raiders who wanted to basically raid the Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, we have regular humans find out about the Fortress of Solitude location. They don't know it's a Fortress of Solitude. So Superman tricks them by giving up the oil exploits by making a fake door to the Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, and this was interesting. Oh yeah, and somehow there was some legal matter. They tried to basically, which was apparently very legal, that they couldn't claim the area because it's under ownership of Superman himself. Kind of a very interesting one, this one. And don't worry about the backup feature. It's just a reprint of a Calypso story, which lasts for about 2 issues. Then we have Secret of the First Metropolis, which turns out basically involving Futuristic City and dinosaurs. Yes. Oh, it's revealed that basically there was this female reporter falls for the guy who comes to the surface. Turns out he's a dinosaur, and then the First Metropolis disappears by the end of the story. Sky Sorchers. It's just more science stuff here. For 413, yeah, there's a guy who basically tries to kill Superman. Yeah, with a voodoo doll. Yes. And we had the apparent deaths of Brainiac and Lex Luthor. And 413, like I mentioned, starts off the backup feature for Metamorpho. It wraps up by 418. Yes, because 419 starts off the Human Torch one. Superman vs. Superstar. Yeah, this is basically Superman dealing with an actor who is also disfigured as well. Just a guy who plays the TV. He does appear one more time after this, but not. He does appear also in the. He does not appear in the next issue. Basically, it's just. Yeah, and then basically we have a Frankenstein monster who creates this woman, and then we have next issue where Superman scares a woman, doesn't want to save her, and it turns out by the end of the story, she actually is perfectly fine. Yeah, a woman named Christy. Somehow, basically, she blames Superman for injuring her. Yes. And then we have where 417 we appearance by Brainiac, Lex Luthor, Grunt, and Marauder. Now you think, who the heck are these two? Grix is a regular Superman villain who debuted in 432. His last appearance will be the next issue. Marauder is a very much also just a Viking villain. And it's like before 18, yeah, let's retire these characters. Also, they have this anti-Superman fortress, which gets destroyed. Yeah, this is Lex Luthor's lair. Yep, and this was, in fact, the last appearance of Lex Luthor's lair. His original lair debuted back in 277. This is basically it being destroyed. Yep. 419, this is the one that starts the Human Target feature. Yep. I love the cover here. It's the awesome Neil Adams cover. He's flying up the sky. It's awesome. I love this cover. The most dangerous man on Earth. Yeah, it's all about doing Metropolis stuff. It's basically just solving stuff with NASA. Really cool stuff here. 420, this just deals with some minor alien stuff. Alias Mega does basically this one. And then we have Superman deal with a guy called Captain Strong, who last appeared in the issue of Green Arrow. Yeah, he's basically DC's equivalent to, of all people, Popeye the Sailor. Yes. Yeah, he went up seeing Action Comics to 439. Oh, no. There we go. 422. This one is not a Human Torch. This is a definitely Human Target feature. It's just him hanging out with a kid. It's Superman hanging out with a kid for an issue. It's a very nice issue. And then we have 423, where it's teamed in with Lex Luthor. And then we have Superman vs. Gorilla Grodd, classic Flash villain. And then we have the start of Green Arrow having one of his... Yeah, it's like at this point we're basically doing a revolving door features. It's like some characters are here, like Human Torch is here for a couple issues. We have a character step in for an issue, and he goes back and forth for a little bit before he's out of the title. Oh crap, not again. Alright, so let's continue on here. So these are my Wi-Fi. So in 425, Last Man on Earth, this is basically not a reprint story, though the backup story features an appearance by the Atom. Yes. Or basically he just saves Jean, his love interest is, well, actually it's his wife, Jean Loring, from gangsters. This one, Superman hanging out with a kid for another one, Superman hangs out with a kid for an issue. 4. And then we have basically 426. This is a job for Superman. I love the cover here for this one. Yeah, Terrorman is back here. Yep, he's back here for this issue. Yeah, and this is not his last appearance. Oh, don't worry about it. This first appearance in the Superman title, in the Action Comics title, but he mostly been appearing in Superman. I've covered pretty much almost all appearances in Superman except for like one. But yeah, nice guest appearance by Terra, and it's more about going to space here with this one. And there's also a Green Arrow and a Human Target story in this one. The Green Arrow one is basically going the wrong side of tracks. Black Canary is here, but she does appear in costume. 427. Like some phantom guy who's not there. It's a weird issue, this one. The Atom one basically deals in it. It's another fight with him in his old school, his standard villain Kronos. And then we have Whatever Happened to Superman. Yeah, it's not Whatever Happened to Man tomorrow. Oh, don't worry about that. Alright, now it's back and running. Yeah, it just, well, makes you believe Superman's vanished for 10 years. He really hasn't. The backup story, Black Canary, basically, there was like a motorcycle gang. Not Donald Trump, basically. It's a Trump card. Then we have 429, where apparently Superman was apparently declared dead and fighting a guy called Ozymandias. Yeah, it's an imaginary story. Yeah, and you think Ozymandias sounds like Ozymandias from Watchmen. I wonder if Alan Moore got the name from this particular character. Maybe, who knows? Of course, we also have another Human Target story here, 429. 430, of course, he works with a guy called the Quakerer. Yes, he deals with this particular weird creature who's also appears. His last appearance is the very next issue. Then the Atom, of course, teams up. It basically just hang out with basically Gene, his basically his nephew for the whole story. Well, he fights up against some micro stuff, and then we have this weird ones like the Monster Mask Superman, and just him fighting modern trope for an issue. It's a really interesting one. And they have Green Arrow did with a runaway shoebox. Yes, a shoebox who runs away. Sounds like something very silly. And then we have the Toyman. We have debut of the second Toyman, who also the original Toyman is here. But don't worry, the second Toyman gets killed off and pages of Suitman. This is debut of the character, and that's it. That's all I'll discuss here. I would say in these issues in particular, I like the Suitman stuff here. Action Comics is getting quite interesting what it is. I had to skip some stuff because basically the Human Target discussed before. But this is also the start of a regular feature for Action, where he pretty much has these backup features in the book. For those of you curious, how long does Superman does this thing where his title, Action Comics, has a backup feature for it becomes back to simply just Superman? This goes on for a little while. I would say it does wrap up at a certain point. I'm not sure when. I'll find out basically as I go on with this book. But yeah, not much to say about these issues themselves. I give the Superman stuff a 9 out of 10. Superman comic 9 out of 10. Same thing with the Superman issues and the Action Comics. I give that a 9. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Well, next up we have is, next up when I get back from, I head out for a bit. So next up is going to be more Blue Swag. Okay, next video. Bye.